At the wedding I saw a hospital bed, and my mother-in-law told me, in 3 months you must give birth to a child to inherit your husband's fortune, or else you were going to take her place, Eloise. My father's words still echoed in my head as the sleek black car sped down the winding road toward the Renoings of Faith estate. They'd barely left his mouth last night before he shoved Rosie's wedding dress into my arms. She ran away. If you don't do this, Eloise, they will come after us, after all of us. He didn't need to say more. Rosie's recklessness had put us here, her drunk driving accident, the death of some mafia enforcer, the mountain of debt, and now she were bolted, leaving me to clean up the mess. Miss Kane. The driver's deep voice cut through my thoughts as the gates of the estate came into view. Ropewave arrived, the car rolled to a stop in front of the sprawling mansion. Gold accents gleamed against black stone, the place exuding wealth and power. Men in tailored suits lined the entrance, their cold, calculating gazes tracking my every move as I stepped out. My fingers gripped the lace hem of the dress as I tried to steady my breathing. Rosie should have been here. This was supposed to be her wedding, her punishment, not mine. But my mother needed the surgery, and my father had made it clear there was no way out of this. A tall, sharp-eyed woman greeted me at the door. Livia Montello. I recognized her from the photograph my father had shown me. She was the mother of the mafia heir I was about to marry, and the one holding my family's fate in her hands. You'll do, she said briskly, her eyes scanning me from head to toe. Her heels clicked against the marble floors as she led me inside. The mansion's interior was just as imposing as the outside ornate chandeliers, black and gold furniture, and an oppressive silence that seemed to swallow everything. I cleared my throat. Where does the groom? Arranged we heading to the church. Livia stopped abruptly and turned Mess Church. Her voice carried a hint of amusement. Wanster the Montellos, not some starry-eyed lovers. The ceremony will be here. And as for the groom, she gestured toward a set of double doors at the end of the hall. 2 men in suits pushed them open and I froze inside. There was no altar, no groom waiting in a tuxedo. Instead, there was a bed where a man lay motionless. I blinked, trying to process what I was seeing. Enter, what is this? I whispered, my voice shaking. Livia strode into the room without hesitation, standing beside the bed, as if this was completely normal. Bear this, she said. Miss Joris Darkin Montello, heir to the Rians of Fife Mafia Group. My mouth went dry. The man on the bed, Darkin, looked nothing like I expected. He was young, maybe late 20s, with dark hair and striking features that seemed carved from stone, but his eyes were closed, his chest rising and falling in shallow mechanical breath. He's wand, I struggled to form the words. Censure he's in a coma. Correct, Livia said without a hint of emotion. Enspiar, didn't your father tell you? 1,000 questions swirled in my head, but only one managed to escape. Mercier, why would you marry him off if he's like this? Her cold eyes bore into mine. Thou Darkin's condition doesn't change his position as heir. This union solidifies an agreement, one that will protect your family and ensure you get the money for your mother's surgery. But she cut me off with a wave of her hand. The ceremony begins now. Sign the contract. A man appeared at my side, holding out a pen and a thick stack of papers. My hands trembled as I took the pen, my mind erasing. This wasn't a marriage. It was a transaction, a contract to bind me to a man who wasn't even conscious. I stared at the paper, the black ink blurring before my eyes. My father's words came back to me. If you don't do this, your mother dies. I signed the moment my name hit the page. Livia clapped her hands. Now they're good. It's done. The witnesses murmured their approval, and the weight of what I just agreed to settled over me like a crushing tide. Livia turned back to Darkin Oprit. You will move into the estate immediately. Your duty is simple. Care for him. Ensure the stability of this union. And in 3 months, you have to nurse. Her lips curved into a cold smile. Produce an heir. My stomach churned untrue an heir. How am I supposed to do that with him lying lifeless on bed? The slap came out of nowhere. My cheek stung as I stumbled back, blinking away tears. I refused to shed. Livia stood before me, her icy blue eyes blazing with fury, her perfectly manicured nails glinting in the light.